I cannot tell you as to how happy I am to be with you today. I have been meeting many people, but I have never really faced so many beautiful faces of girls at one time. I'm finding it very difficult to gaze my eye on any one of you, because I find the sparkling eyes, the beautiful smile, the splendid forehead and others. So I wonder, to whom should I look and who should I talk to them? This does not mean that I am not taking notice of the smart young boys who are sitting behind. I am very happy that you have taken a seat behind the girls, because give them a chance, the girls will always be in the front, and try to see that you are backing them and they are with you all through. Well, my dear girls and boys, I really don't know as to what should I speak to you after what you have heard already. But there are some things which I want to share with you. I do not know as to how it will go, but I'll try to tell you that. One thing is that have absolute courage in yourself, have confidence in you, and don't think that there is anything which you cannot achieve in life. Believe me, there is no thing like the impossible in life. They say that in Napoleon's dictionary, if there was one word which was missing, it was impossible. Things are possible, and you have got power within yourself to do it. There is a divine power sitting in the hearts and the minds and the soul of people. You have only to revive it and you will see that you can achieve wonders. I remember that was a small story which my nanny told me. She said that one day there were great celebrations in the city, and she took a little child with her to that celebration. There this little child found that several balloons were flying in the air. This boy looks at the balloons and then turns to the nanny and says, "Nanny, can I ask a question from the balloon vendor?" She says, "Go ahead, child, ask him." The boy goes to the vendor and says that, "Uncle, I see balloons flying in the sky. There are red balloons, there are pink balloons, there are green balloons, there are white balloons. Why is it that the black balloon does not fly?" The man looked into the eyes of the child and said, "Hold on, I'll show you." And he put his hand in the shuttle, brought out a black balloon, put the gas into it, and it starts flying. He said, whether it is red, whether it is blue, whether it is white, whether it is black, the thing flies when there is Shakti in it. When you put power in it, when you put energy in it, when you put gas in it, and it takes to fly. So remember one thing, that whoever he may be, from whichever class he may be coming or she may be coming, she would be able to fly and go up when that Shakti, that power, that courage is put into it. That is the way that we have got to do. Yet one more thing I would like to tell you, that in your class and in your generation, in your life, you will be seeing many people who are there, who belong to different culture, different religion, wearing different attire, looking very different, and yet they are all there. See to it that you bring them together. A beautiful flower is beautiful indeed if it is red and all the flowers are red. But in a bouquet, as you see, when you mix the flowers of different colors and different hues and different pressure, it looks beautiful. Try to become a bouquet in life. Don't be alone. Don't confine yourself only to the people of your language, your religion, or your culture. Bring the different colors together to make a beautiful bouquet. And I am confident of it, that you are all the beautiful bouquets that I see before my eyes. See to it that it is done. Also remember one more thing, that a beautiful music of Mozart or any great composer is beautiful and melodious. Why? Because different instruments of music combine together. Each instrument of music has got its own tone, its own music, its own way. And yet, when the different musical instruments combine together with their ragas and their tunes and others, it becomes a music that you can never forget. Try to do that. Try to see that you mingle with people with different ideas, different cultures and others, and become a beautiful melody, a beautiful song in life. Yet one more thing I would like to tell you is that don't hesitate to take up the task, however hard it may be. The man who climbed Himalayas was asked a question by a young boy. That, uncle, why did you try to climb Himalayas? He said, because it was there. He said, I can't resist the temptation of climbing high when the challenge is before me. See to it that you do the same thing. There is a story among the Egyptians about a man, Sisyphus. You see, he was asked by the gods to carry a big stone up the hill and put it, you see, at the summit. Sisyphus tries to take the stone, the heavy stone up. But every time that he reaches what you call the summit, the peak of the hill, and tries to keep the stone there, the stone rolls down and comes down. He does it repeatedly, and then wonders what an absurd thing I'm doing. The voice of the God comes, that, O Sisyphus, you are not able to understand that in the very effort of picking up that particular stone, taking it up there, you are building yourself up. Don't bother about the thing whether it falls down or not. It is your effort which really matters, which has got to be done. Each one of us and each one of you has got a dharma which you have got to accept and do about it. It is in doing your duty as a teacher, as a daughter, as a mother, as a friend, and the other, you are accomplishing something very great. In Mahabharata, there is a dialogue between Yudhishthira and Draupadi. Draupadi tells Yudhishthira, O Yudhishthira, what have we achieved by being good? Those who are doing evil are sleeping today on the silken beds, while my husbands are all lying on the floor. Yudhishthira says, Draupadi, don't try to mix the agenda of power with duty and truth. Follow the path of truth, because in the righteousness, in doing the right thing, even if you miss your sleep, your bed, your comforts, you are achieving something which makes you godlike in your power and in your achievement. See to it that what you consider to be right, what you consider to be just, what you consider to be truthful in your own way, follow it. You will find peace in it. You will get glorious ideas coming out of that particular field when you have stamina for that. I know it is very difficult to be truthful all the time. Mahatma Gandhi's whole life is nothing but experiments with truth. The man failed several times, but then, following the basic principles, he succeeded. I do not know how many of you would know, and you should know, about the non-cooperation movement which he had started. He made the people of India fight against the British government to get independence to India. And he said that I will do it through the route of ahimsa. I'll do it in a way in which I do not, take the life of the others. I will do it without becoming violent than others. It was an impossible task. Many countries had achieved independence. Many countries became free. But it is through the barrel of the gun that they did it, not Gandhi. And when Gandhi was carrying this particular movement, there were 4 British soldiers who were killed by our agitating Indian people. Gandhi called off the movement. People were surprised as to what Gandhi is doing. But Gandhi said that I do not want an independence which is spotted with the spots of blood, which is stains of blood. I don't. And he withdrew the whole thing. And later, when he again succeeded in doing the non-violent activities, the whole world bowed down before him and said that here he might be a naked fakir, but he has got the strength of his ideas, his commitment, his conviction with which he was moving ahead. Have some idea, have some conviction. You will find that you will get the courage to go forward. And for that, it is extremely necessary that you should read some of our classical books. You were talking of the books of history, geography and others. They are all important, I don't deny that particular thing. But also read your classics, because that will give you the conviction. If I ask you to read Mahabharata or Ramayana or read what you call Bhagavad Gita, it is not out of any religious feeling. I am an irreligious man, I don't believe in religions at all. But then there is a lot of truth, moral truth, imbibed in these particular books. Learn from it. Even if you read, it will get into you. You see, when Jawaharlal Nehru goes to the villages and asks some of the villagers that you are reciting something in Sanskrit, do you understand what you are reciting? An old man said that, Panditji, I don't know a word of Sanskrit, but I'll tell you one thing, that every time when I recite these particular words that I don't understand, I get a certain comfort for which I am pining. So that particular comfort, that particular ideas come from the books and the ideas of the great men. Be in the company also of good people in your life, and you will see that you will be able to become good itself. A good professional is good, no doubt about it. A good engineer must be a good engineer. A doctor must be a good doctor. A teacher must be a good teacher. But above all, he should be a moral man. He should be a man who is respected in the community by his friends and colleagues and others. And that respect comes, believe me, from your picking up the right causes, by your becoming aware of the misery of others, the torture of others. And if you can't do that particular thing, it's difficult for you to get comfort and happiness in life. It was Gandhi who said that whenever you are in a state of doubt about the step you are taking, Try to recollect and remember the face of the last man you had seen. A sick man, a poor man, a man suffering the agonies of life. And think of it, that this step you are going to take could be of any use to him or not. I know it is not easy to do these particular things, but it is in your age only that you can pick up these particular things, not when you reach my age or the other. By that time we had lost what you call the beautiful moments of life. You have got those moments of life with you. Apart from being a good student, apart from being absolutely top in your class or the other, also think of it, that are you a good human being? Are you able to cry at the misery of others? Are you able to share the joy also of others? It is when you identify yourself with the others that you discover your own self. And when once this discovery is made, such a man or such a girl or such a boy is prepared to achieve anything in life. And don't, as I said in the beginning, be afraid of running away from difficulties. I do not know whether you have read the story of Alice in Wonderland. That little girl wants to discover the world, and she gets into a rabbit's hole to see as to what the world is like inside. Goes round and round and sees everything. And when it's getting dark, she wants to come out, but does not know how to come out of the hole. She's trying, then the rabbit comes to Alice and said, "Oh dear Alice, why are you crying?" She said, "My dear friend rabbit, I came through the hole, but I do not know how to get out of it. It's a miserable thing." The rabbit said, "Alice, try it and you will get out of the hole." And Alice tries it, and Alice comes out of the hole. So these particular holes, these particular difficulties, these particular harmful moments which come in your life, there is a story, again the Greek story of Daedalus and Charybdis. These are the two men who are the flyers, and they put the glue and the wings and they start flying in the sky. There is a competition between the two. The Daedalus flies, goes up to a point, and when Daedalus feels that the wax is melting and the wings are going to fall, he comes down and is cheered. On the other hand, the Calicus, when he flies and he finds that the wax is melting, he comes down to discover and find out a better wax that he could fly further and go further. Try and see to it that the thing which has given you the success in this life, can you not improve on it and go forward? You will achieve that. Well, my dear boys and girls, I do not wish to take much of your time, but I would only say that you are the people to whom we are looking for great days ahead for this country. This country is a great country, not just because it has got a big geography or a large population, or majestic Himalayas, or the beautiful Ganges which is flowing here, or the wonderful greenery that we have all around our country. It is great because there have been great people born in this country and who tried to work for the country. If India was known till the other day as a great country, it is not because of its economic growth. It's not because of its rate of economy or anything. It is because it produced a Buddha, it produced a Gandhi, it produced a Vivekananda and others. It is these people who make the country great. And I would say not only these people, all of you join together to make the country great. Keep that thing in mind, that your career is important, your parents are important, your teachers in school are important, but much more than all that is the reputation of your country. If that is gone, whatever you might achieve, you can't be considered great. Britain was great at one point of time. They used to say that sun will never set down on Britain. But when the British Empire collapsed, when its men started coming down, the best of the same schools and colleges, like Oxford and Cambridge, lost their power. Harvard and others became great, and their scholars became great, because America became great. Soviet Union or Russia was a great country. Even to this day, you have got great mathematicians, physicists and others in Russia. But nobody cares for them today, because Russia has fallen back. So keep this thing in mind, that the greatness of the country is reflected in you, and you impart greatness to the country. If that relationship is not maintained, we will lose out. But fortunately, I would say that this new generation to which you belong have got a sense of patriotism in you. And that sense of patriotism you have got to preserve. Don't let India fall down because of the differences of religion or culture or language or things of that kind. We are one, and as long as we remain one, no power on earth can shake us down. But if we are divided for reasons of religion, for reasons of language, for reasons of that particular type in which self-interest is involved, you will not do it right side. And you may score the best of the marks in the examination. You may stand first in the national competitive exams as such, but you will never be considered great if your country is not great. Keep that thing in mind. I am confident of it, that the boys and the girls to whom I am talking have India dear to their heart. Become a worshipper of that particular Bharat, which has given you this particular day that you are all getting access to education which was not there before. I am sure you can do that. And lastly, I would say that when you do that, have a great vision. Have something ahead of you which can you see inspire and take you around. As the poet said, dip deep into the ocean of life and see as far as human eye can see the vision of tomorrow and the wonders that could be. The wonders are awaiting you. Wake up to that particular thing through a vision, and I am confident of it, that your parents will be proud of you, your teachers will be proud of you, your school and college will be proud of you, and we will all be proud of you. God bless you.